I am feeling a little bit contemplative today. When I had the idea for the second season of the Rated Rabbi Sports Card podcast, Cards Against Time, it was born out of something that I've been aware of for some time. On the one hand, we collect cards, we build collections, we tell stories about ourselves, we tell stories about the cards. Cards stand alone, they go in pairs, they go in collections. We tell stories about our lives, our past, our present. Cards, it's an amazing hobby. Our cards are personal, our cards are meaningful, our cards oftentimes are valuable. They are a beautiful expression of our identities, of who we are, of who we aspire to be. So on the one, it's all very real, and it all feels very important. And then on the other hand, it's cards against time. We've only got so much time. Eventually, you, me, everybody, we're all gonna die. We are finite. The cards that we possess will carry on long after we depart this sweet earth. So Cards Against Time was the idea for this second season. I never thought in only episode 3 that I'd be talking about a death in the hobby community. As you know, Rev Steve died just last week, and I'm not going to pretend that I knew Rev Steve. I knew of him. I'd heard of him in the hobby community. Not somebody I knew personally. And quite honestly, I had never seen his YouTube channel until finding out about his passing, subscribing, and then this last weekend, watching and listening to a whole bunch of videos. And Rev Steve was a man of faith, man from Pennsylvania, Pirates fan, real down to earth, loved roasting his own coffee, generous, kind, humble, not too much of an ego that he was afraid to put himself out there, which is something I think I admire. I'm a little shy when it comes to the YouTube hobby community, and I am a little bit like Groucho Marx in that I never really want to be a part of a club that would have me. But maybe I'm a little jealous of Brave Steve. Maybe he had the courage that I don't to put himself out there, to introduce himself, to make that effort. It's a great quality humility. Really want to encourage you to check out at least a couple of Rev Steve's YouTube videos. One in particular that I remember is last year, about a year ago, just before he went to the Strongsville Vintage Show last year. And his excitement about not just going to the show, but meeting all these YouTubers. And it's just very touching when he described his experience and the cards that he got, which are beautiful cards and reminders. You know what? It's not how much your cards cost that makes a beautiful collection. And the second video I really want to encourage everyone to check out was Rev Steve's last video, his final video, in which he mentions going back to Strongsville this year again, a year later, a year further into the hobby with relationships, a YouTube hobby persona, the whole thing. Just how excited he was. And that last video just made me real sad because he was in his groove. You could hear the happiness, you could hear the excitement, you could hear the kindness and the sweetness in his voice. And his dream never came to pass. His plans will not happen. Age 45 years old, beautiful wife, young children. 45 years old, a heart attack. Number one killer of men, 45 to 54. You know what to do. Watch the saturated fat, don't smoke, exercise, minimize the stress. They tell all of us that 45 to 54, the number one killer, is what got Rev Steve, Zichrono Livracha. May his memory endure as a blessing, and may we take from the way he lived his life to enjoy the cards while we can, to be kind to people, to make relationships, not to take it too seriously, and to have some fun with it. I'm going to drop a link to his family's GoFundMe in the show notes. Please go there and please consider giving what you can to support his family in the wake of his really, really sad, untimely passing. Trading is my favorite part of collecting cards. I like the buying, I like the selling. I love to trade. Last week, you may remember that I talked about that 1980-81 Bird Magic rookie card that I just could not stand. And an opportunity came up back in January and I made a move, and I'm excited to share what I did with that card with you. There's three kinds of trades, right? At least three. I'm going to name three. The first one is a trade that hurts both parties a little bit. That's a good trade. Like, oh, I hate to give this up, but I really want to get that back. You know, it hurts a little bit. We like those kind of trades. The other one hurts a lot, right? When you just grossly overpay for something that you gotta have, and this is your only opportunity. That hurts. Ugh. And then the other one, the third kind, is one that hurts not at all, when you cannot believe your good fortune. And of the three, I have to say, the way this trade worked out for the Bird Magic rookie, it's number three, one that hurts not at all. Could not believe my good fortune. Summer of 2023, I was at the National waiting to enter. VeriSwap had just started, and I sat there and I posted a bunch of my cards on VeriSwap. I haven't been super active. For those of you who've never used VeriSwap, it's a third-party platform that takes a percentage, right? A transaction fee for helping you make a safe trade online with another user. And I'd sold a card once to VeriSwap, but that was about the extent of it. So I had the Bird Magic up there, and it sat. Finally, January of 2026, another user proposed a trade straight up. I said, oh my goodness, this is a card that is tier one. I have 20 cards in 2026, aside from SF Giants Heritage Black Refractors numbered to the year of the design, and of course those supernovas I've been building since 2020. I only have 20 cards broken into 4 tiers. My top tier only has 2 cards. One of them I showed to you in episode 1. That was at 1934, a Gaudy Lou Gehrig, the yellow one. Smiling Lou, number 37. And this user on VeriSwap, lo and behold, proposed me a trade. I would be trading away a card I could not stand, and in return, he had offered me the other card in tier 1 of 2026. I said, oh my gosh. I slept on it though. I went to bed. Like, you know what? Let's be patient. Let's be methodical. Let's think about it. Let's take a real good look at the example. Let's think it over. Woke up the next morning, looked at it one more time, and I said, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So without any further ado, let me show you that card. There it is. I traded away the 80-81 Bird Magic rookie card from 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax in a PSA 3.5. Really nice example. This is an interesting card. Hugely abundant. It's easier to find a nice Koufax than it is to find a nice Clemente, also a 55 rookie. The challenges with Koufax's rookie card are several. One has a lot of little print lines, a little like specks of ink. You'll see those print lines streak throughout. 2, it has some centering issues, not uncommon to the issue, better than Clemente, but you know, you want to find a nice one. 3rd, I wanted to find just the right yellow. Let's call it goldenrod adjacent rich. Not quite an egg yolk, not pale though. Just a really nice, rich yellow, and that's what he proposed. A really beautiful example, PSA 3.5, 1955, Sandy Koufax. I'm going to take the picture of Bird and Sandy off because I want to hold up my example live so you get a little bit better look at it. I'm really, really happy. So why did I say yes to this? Number one, it was salvation. I had gotten it so wrong with that Bird Magic. This was a chance to get it right. This card was top of the list. Now, had this opportunity not come about, I might have held out for a little bit better example. The challenge is there are so many in the range of PSA and SGC 3 to 4.5. So 3 to 4.5 PSA and SGC. We're talking about 5,800 examples just in that little grade window alone. 3, 3.5, 4, and 4.5. There are about 5,800 just in those two grading companies. So even if we take out some of those for cracks and resubs, it's an easy card to find. And what happens is the more opportunities you have, the harder it gets to find one that's just right. That combined with the just explosion of eye appeal overpays kind of made me snobbish and then a little reluctant to pay so much money for cards that I just feel like it's a relatively common card overall. He had this thing listed at $2,000. Truth be told, the real value is closer to 1,500, depending, 14 to 1,600. And my bird had come back. The bird had come back and it was about 16, 17, maybe 18. But I didn't care. It was in the ballpark. I had an example that I could not stand, and I redeemed it for one that I love. Let me show you one more time. 1955, real clean. One last thing I really like about the example is the Sandy Koufax. His name is really nice, real nice registration, not all blurred out by multiple layers of ink on the card. So that is taking a trade that went real wrong and turning it into something that feels so right. So like I said, I only have 20 cards aside from the Giants Black Refractors and 2020 Obsidian Supernovas. I only have 20 cards on my list in 2026. So far, I can't believe I actually picked up 5 of them already, including the top 2, the Gehrig and the Koufax. They're not all big ones. Like, listen, oh God, Mr. Big Shot. No, like one of them is a 1952 Bowman Bobby Thompson, shot heard around the world, New York Giants. I want that. I'm a Giants fan. What's cool is I love when the backs of cards describe seminal moments in sports history. For example, the 1969 Joe Namath Topps. I love that orange. That's such a beautiful card. The back of that one describes the guarantee, right? A Super Bowl III upset over the Colts. The 1952 Bowman Bobby Thompson describes the shot heard round the world. Like, I love the special moments captured in the text on the back. So, like I said, I love to trade. So here, right now, Rated Rabbi Sports Card Podcast, Season 2, Cards Against Time. I have 3 cards I'd like to offer to you as potential trade bait. The first card, these are great cards. These are nice copies, but they just don't fit my collection. And I've decided to move on. The first card is a 1911 T205 gold border Barney Pelty in a PSA 3. Really beautiful example. Phenomenal registration, nicely centered. The chipping on the left and the corners really account for a lot of the grade. Very clean back. A terrific example. 1911 gold border T205, the Yiddish curver. One of the earliest Jewish ball players in the 20th century. One of the first Jewish ball players in the American League, played for the St. Louis Americans, aka the St. Louis Browns. Trade value on that, I used Card Ladder for these trade values, looked at condition, looked at grades, tried to be very reasonable. I've got that trade value at $165, 165. I'm going to show you one more look again, T205, Barney Pelty. Second card, last year I was trying to find my way. It was sort of a disrupted time in my life, pulling up stakes from Alexandria, heading back out to California where we are now. And I was kind of doing a little this, little that. And I got the idea to collect the Hall of Famers from 1956 Topps. Such a magnificent set. The only set that has everybody, right? The only set that has Mantle and Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente and Sandy Koufax and Ted Williams and. It is a beautiful set. Really nice. I love it. I love the design. The last set to be oversized, produced by Topps. I got a 1956 Rapid Robert Bob Feller. I think this is his last Topps. This is his last season, right? 1956 Topps Bob Feller in a PSA 4. Very nice. Show you the back also. Very nice. Take a look at the centering. Decide for yourself. If I had to put a percentage on this centering, I would say it's about 65-35. Yeah, about 65-35. 65 left, 35 right, and top to bottom, it's about 60-40, 60 on the bottom, 40 on the top. I think it's a very nicely centered card, pretty sharp, really beautiful color and registration. I've got that one priced at $110 trade value. The Pelty at $165, Bob Feller 1956 Topps at $110. I got one more card to show you, one more card for trade consideration. This is a card that I'd wanted for a very long time. Card that is an important part of sports history, an important part of history, period. Someone who was from Alexandria, Virginia, where I lived for a very, very long time. It is a 1957 Topps. So the first Topps set ever created for basketball, 1957 basketball, Earl Lloyd in a PSA 5. Now, if you know the 57 Topps set to begin with, it is next to impossible to find these cards centered. Holding it up on the screen, you are not going to find a better centered card in a mid-grade than this example. When I bought this card, I bought it raw. I think it was BBC Emporium. Is that what it's called? Baseball card Emporium. Yeah, I bought it raw. Like, that's the one. Sent it in. So both this and the Pelty are newly graded. I sent them in less than a year ago. This is 57 Earl Lloyd. This is a tough card to find, of the first African American to play in the NBA, a pioneer, a trailblazer, the first black player in the association in a PSA 5. I did some looking on this card. A card this well centered, you got to go back a year and a half, 2 years to find anything even comparable. That one that was as well centered as this one in a PSA 5 went for $650. I think that was a little bit over an overpay. So I've got it priced at $550. You'll see ugly ones around $450. So I think this is very reasonably priced. 1957 Topps Earl Lloyd, first African American to play in the NBA. Let me show you the back. I would love a trade. I would love a trade. That would be so fun. Okay, like I said, I have 20 cards this year that I'm really searching for. And then I have a really long list I call a do not buy list. Started the do not buy list January 1st. I'm already up to 61 cards. I'm like, oh, I got to get this card. I'm like, no, put it on the do not buy list. And then at the end of the year, I'll go back. Oh, yeah, I still want this. I don't want that anymore. What was I thinking? I'm so glad I'm spending $87 on this stuff. Right? Just be patient. So I have 61 cards on the do not buy list. This is the card I did not buy this last week. Up on stage, 1951 Bowman. Incredible. This is from a Bowman set called Red Menace. Now, Red Menace is a 48 card anti-communism set. The one I have up on the screen, card 23, is called Ghost City. Some consider this to be the key card in the set. I'm going to take a minute. I want to read the text to you. It says, Ghost City. The picture is an artist's idea of what an atom bomb could do to a great American city. How much would it freak you out, you little 10-year-old kid? Get this card in a pack. The Reds, not the Cincinnati Reds, friends, the communists. The Reds like us to think of this. This picture is an artist's idea of what an atom bomb could do to a great American city. The Reds like us to think of this. And the picture isn't ultimately destroyed. Looks like the Flatiron Building in New York City, one of those kind of buildings built into the corner in an utterly decimated, destroyed city with this kind of white enshrouded apparition, kind of like the angel of death with the skeleton poking out of a shroud, ghost-like up in the clouds. Terrifying, man. They think it will make us afraid, but actually we are growing stronger by realizing that this could happen to us. Could is italicized. We are working to make America stronger. Day by day, week by week, we must continue to work through peace. We must continue to work for peace through the United Nations in every possible way. But an America fully prepared to defend itself is not likely to be attacked. The Reds understand this language. A muscular American policy, anti-communism propaganda. But, as you dive into what was real, actually some of the threat was very, very real during this time. So anyway, I did not buy this card, even though I think it's an incredible card. Beautiful example. It made the do not buy 2026 list. Red Menace, Ghost City. Watch out for those communist kids. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Do something nice. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Don't take this hobby too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. Do what you can to make this world a little bit better every day, and do what you can to die happy. Because remember, all this is just a ride. So long for now.